President Trump taking in some of the women's U.S. Open today at his golf club in New Jersey.
Tweeting, just got to the U.S. Women's Open in Bedminster, New Jersey. People are really happy with record high stock market up over 17% since the election.
President Trump promised we'd get tired of winning. And I get the feeling a lot of people in the media are getting tired of us winning, but they better get used to it.
Dueling demonstrations across the country. The president's critics making their voices heard, taking to the streets today in another round of coast-to-coast protests.
And there's a health care hang-up in the Senate. Republican lawmakers unveiling a new plan. Still, they're having a hard time trying to unite the whole party behind it.
We just have this breaking news that Senator McCain, following a routine physical, underwent a procedure.
But still dominating the news cycle, his oldest son's meeting with a Russian lawyer during the campaign.
This Russia collusion delusion is irrelevant. People see the jobs coming back. They see the price of gas. They see the fact that this week we destroyed the caliphate. That should be the news.
Old school country that you like, Clayton?
I like stuff that's good. If it's good, like Alan Jackson, good. Welcome into Fox and Friends on this Sunday morning.
Good morning to you. Guess what we're celebrating today?
Oh, I'm super excited about this.
National Ice Cream Day. Is there any other reason to get up in the morning?
I can think of a few, maybe like
Better
National Waffle Day. But, the best thing is when I had a producer just roll up to me and said, what do you want, vanilla or Oreo? I said, what? What are you talking about? I went with Oreo.
I went with Oreo. What was your choice?
I went with vanilla just to sort of balance
Todd,
it out.
come on.
I don't know, if Kim, if you're listening, if we want to go 3 straight, I'll go Oreo. I'm not opposed to Oreo.
But the little chunks of Oreo,
the cookies and cream.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't get better. So we're going to be celebrating, of course, National Ice Cream Day, but we've got a big 4-hour show and a lot of news to get to.
Yeah, we want to get straight to this Fox News alert now because health care on hold this morning. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell delaying consideration of the GOP health care bill.
That decision coming after Senator John McCain announced he will be recovering this week from surgery.
Ellison Barber is live for us in Washington, D.C. with all of those details. Ellison, good morning.
Good morning to you all. Senate leaders hope to pass health care this week, but the bill was on shaky ground to begin with, and now Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says they are tabling it. Doctors at the Mayo Clinic say Senator John McCain underwent surgery on Friday to remove a blood clot from above his left eye. Doctors say they removed the clot during, quote, a minimally invasive craniotomy with an eyebrow incision, a type of surgery that involves cutting an opening into the skull. McCain's office says he's staying home this week on the advice of doctors and is in, quote, good spirits. McCain received well wishes from his Senate colleagues on the left and the right. In a statement, Majority Leader McConnell said, quote, there are few people tougher than my friend John McCain, and I know he'll be back with us soon. While John is recovering, the Senate will continue our work on legislative items and nominations and will defer consideration of the Better Care Act. For Republicans, health care repealing and replacing Obamacare is the big item this week, but they were having a tough time getting to the necessary 50 votes. Without McCain, it's unlikely Senate Republicans would have the votes to pass their legislation. These 5 senators are key votes, but not definitive yeses. 2 Republican senators, Senator Rand Paul and Susan Collins, already announced their intention to vote against the bill. Combine that with McCain's absence, and that puts the available Republican yes votes at 49. And that's not enough. Abby, Clayton, Todd.
All right, Ellison, thank you so much. Look, our thoughts and prayers are with the McCain family.
Absolutely.
Meghan McCain is a big part of this Fox News family and a good friend of ours, so hoping the best for him. It sounds like it's going to be okay, but
Yeah,
certainly
we're all pulling
will.
for him.
Yeah,
well said. Well, meanwhile, the president is already out there trying to drum up support. He was in Bedminster, New Jersey yesterday, and he took to Twitter yesterday to talk about health care and obviously a big week ahead, or so they thought it would be a big week ahead. But he's going after the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, which it's interesting. Politicians love the Congressional Budget Office sometimes. And
when
then
it's in their favor.
When it's in their favor, and they also hate it. But the president and others are going
like
after
James
the
Comey.
CBO. Exactly. Is he on my side this week? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So So here's a bit from the op-ed. This is by Mark Short and Brian Blaze, who work for the White House, mainly on health care. They say the CBO's methodology, which favors mandates over choice and competition, is fundamentally flawed. As a result, its past predictions regarding health care legislation have not borne much resemblance to reality. Its prediction about the Senate bill is unlikely to fare much better. Although the media and the political left will certainly seize on it, the CBO's estimates will be little more than fake news.
Predicting this number of 20 to 25, 26 million people who will be taken off of health care. That's the sticking point.
But Todd, warning the American people, just so you know, the media is going to be against this. The CBO is going to be against this.
So prepare.
Calling it basically fake news.
What I'm so interested to hear is Jason Chaffetz. He's going to be on our program later on. He's been in the trenches involved with the CBO. He knows how this whole organization operates, this office, if you will, operates. And I think he's going to be able to sort of shed light on that. Well, it's good for you sometimes, it's bad for you other times. He's going to sort of be able to delve into what this really means and what this number is truly going to mean for the American people.
Yeah, now he's on the outside. He can speak about what it was like being inside. But the Democrats, no surprise here, they're loving every single minute of this, Clayton.
Do you want to go back into the time machine a little bit, like the Wayback Machine?
Let's do it.
Yeah, the Wayback Machine. Get out the flux capacitor this morning and go back a little bit. Do you remember when Nancy Pelosi, of course, back when she had that great moment where she talked about having to pass the bill in order to find out what's in the bill? Here's what Nancy Pelosi had to say. Then I want to play something that happened yesterday. Look.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it, away from the fog of the controversy.
Yeah. Let's pass it.
One of the worst political quotes of all time.
Right. Let's pass it to find out what's in it, because we don't have time to read it, right?
Yes.
Reading.
Yeah, so then Dan Pfeiffer, who's a former senior advisor to President Obama, had this to say recently, attacking Republicans, saying the general rule of politics, if you have to rush to pass your bill before people find out what's in it, you will regret passing that bill. Just the irony here.
So is that an acknowledgement of all of this? That we have to pass it? That's a huge mistake. Don't do it that way. Actually take the time, find out what's in it.
Well, that was the biggest mistake that I think the Democrats made last go round.
Right.
Was they also didn't ask for support from either side, right? They really just kind of rushed it down people's throat without people, even Nancy Pelosi, even knowing what was in that bill. Come to find, the American people now are wanting a big change. Like, this isn't what we wanted. This isn't what we asked for. So you do hope that this time the Republicans, when we're out talking to people, the American people, they will say, we would rather this bill be the right bill, be a good bill, than for it to be rushed. Because longer term, that's the better answer, not just for Republicans politically, but better for the country.
One thing that the Obama administration did very well last time, I thought, was the messaging. They had some of those key takeaway phrases, such as, you're going to get to keep your doctor. Well, that sort of resonated with a lot of people. And we don't need to read it if we get to keep our doctor. Turns out that wasn't necessarily the case. And so, provided we can get to a point where we can bring health care to the American people, a revised version, obviously, or repeal and replace, whatever we ultimately end up doing, I think the messaging needs to be clear. Here's what you get, here's what you don't get, and here's what we do moving forward.
Well, it was a beautiful day yesterday in New Jersey. That's where the president spent his afternoon at Bedminster, New Jersey, for the U.S. Women's Open.
And you were there, too. We're going to play that a little later in the show, meeting with some of the Trump supporters and the protesters. But, yes, he loves to go where the controversy is. He doesn't shy away from any of that. He said, this is my golf course. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be wearing a Make America Great Again hat, as you can see there. But as you said, Clayton.
Well, he took to Twitter, and he was enjoying the day of golf yesterday, and he took to Twitter yesterday to kind of take on some of the topics of the day. Here was the first of many tweets he shot out yesterday. Just got to the U.S. Women's Open in Bedminster, New Jersey. People are really happy with record high stock market, up over 17% since the election. Stock market hit another all-time high yesterday, despite the Russian hoax story. Also, jobs numbers are starting to look very good. Russian hoax story, of course, one of the big headlines of the tweet yesterday. And then he also said, this stock market at a new all-time high, working on new trade deals that will be great for the U.S. and its workers, trying to keep that momentum going.
You realize the importance, and I don't agree with all of President Trump's tweets. I've made that clear on the show. But this is why he tweets, right? Because you don't hear a lot of the good stuff that's going on in this country anywhere else. I mean, you literally have to follow his Twitter account to get a sense of what's going on.
And I think there are a lot of people out there who obviously despise President Trump. But when you look at those numbers and when you look at the prospect for jobs with the revising of trade deals, everybody should be behind that. That said, obviously, we're going to, over the course of the next 4 hours, talk about a lot of people who aren't. But when you look at that number, those figures, those facts. This is pro-America, regardless of whether you're pro-Trump or not.
Who doesn't want America to succeed? Who doesn't want us to win?
Well,
I don't care what
Antifa does.
Political party, no, they don't.
Right.
But I think we all should be rooting for the best. I mean, politics can oftentimes get in the way. But let's be supportive and proud of the country that we live in
100%.
and the positive things that are going on.
Of course, some protesters came out yesterday to Bedminster to show up. There was rallies around the United States yesterday against President Trump. So we're going to play some of that sound. We went out and hit the streets with some of these protesters to find out what they had to say. So we'll play a little bit of that coming up.
Turning now, though, to some of your headlines.